Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, this is the press, and we're reaching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. We've now been joined by our guest, Richard Oriri, an in-house analyst. You're welcome to the studio once again.
It's good to have you join us. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, you look so great that I want to believe that the hardship of the nation is not even getting to you in any way.
Just as you look so great.
See the setup. Okay, I think we're wearing the same color, so let's just be aligning that we are trying not to look what we're going through.
Yeah.
All right. There's been a lot of anxiety, panic, because the hardship is really getting to everybody. People that you would ordinarily not even expect to start asking for help are already asking, and there are pockets of protest in every part of the country. And we have some anti-government bodies saying that the government cannot handle the economic situation of the country, that they should step down. I'd like to get your thoughts on that.
Thank you for inviting me, and good morning, viewers. Okay. The issue of food scarcity in the country presently and other challenges confronting us as a nation today is a serious issue, very terrible problem. Not about anti-government. If we are talking about anti-government, meaning you and I, we are equally anti-government. It's no issue of anti-government. We Nigerians are really voicing out, ventilating their grievances of what they are seeing that they never expected to see. But in any case, the President Olamide Tinubu, I think, not that he doesn't have the capacity, but the problem is not himself. The problem is the system. The problem is not just about Olamide Tinubu. Even any other person that becomes the president today will face the same situation that we are facing. And the reason is that if you look at the country, majority of our population is within the youth age. And this youthful age, there are no jobs available for them to do, and the ones who have the opportunity working now, their salary is nothing to talk about. And the farmers who give Nigeria this food, insecurity all over the country is not letting them to even get to their farms to increase production in the food sector. So now, even the PDP that are talking today, for me, I wouldn't want to hear anything PDP for now, because they are part of the problems. They are part of the problem in the sense that, like, if you want to talk of insecurity in Nigeria started from the time of PDP. And when Buhari came on board, the same insecurity continues. Like, if you go to Benue State today, Benue State used to be the food basket of the nation.
Oh, it's now used to be. It's no longer the food basket. It used to
be the food basket of the nation.
Okay, because
but today, as I speak, majority of our farmers, they no longer go to farm because they are afraid. The fear of not being kidnapped, the fear of not being killed is everywhere. The other day, I listened to one information coming from Niger State government saying that nobody should come to their state. This was coming from the governor directly. Nobody should come to their state and take food stuff out of the state any longer. And he has given directive to security that if they see anyone taking food out of Niger State, they should confiscate that the items.
That means they will also not get importation into their state.
The one they have available, he wants it within the state to feed their people. And not coming to buy and take out of the state. He wants every food within the state now to be stocked in the state. If Benue State government should give the same directive, if Taraba State government should give the same directive, and other states within the north that produce this food, how would the rest other part of the country, especially the southeast,
Actually feel.
where, how would they feel?
And nobody can live in isolation.
Absolutely.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not the major challenge. The major challenge we are having is every time, year in, year out, we are fond of coming up with beautiful policies that implementation seems to be problems. And that is the same thing we are facing in this current administration.
Mr. Richard, may I come in, please? Yeah, okay, so when the average Nigerians went to the polls to vote, they expected that perhaps this would be the messiah. He said he was going to perhaps bring some kind of solutions to the existing problems that were peculiar at the time. But it seems as though now you're saying that it's the system, it's not President Tinubu. And they had already brought in Tinubu to solve the issues. Wouldn't it seem like as though that we're having a misplaced priority here? And now you say you don't want to hear anything about the PDP. Not just the PDP here. Nigerians are complaining. Everybody, the hunger is biting.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. So who are we supposed to hold accountable here? You said you spoke about policies. If these policies are not being checked by the president, it wouldn't see the light. So who should we hold accountable here?
Yes, it's our right to hold the president accountable because we have submitted our rights as citizens to him on trust. With the hope that he will solve our problems.
Okay.
And governance is about society problem solving.
Please, I'd like to hold your thoughts for a second. Let's quickly answer this call. The call has been coming in. Hello, good morning.
Yeah.
Hello, good morning. You're welcome to the press. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Umar.
All right, Omar, where are you calling from? Are you there? All right, please join the conversation, Mr. Umar.
Yeah. Like the analyst is speaking.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
We can hear you. Hello.
Hello?
Okay, I think you should just try to call us back. Please go ahead with the conversation.
Like you said, governance is about problem solving. And if you cannot solve and again, secondly, is about individual responsibility. This is not about collective responsibility. The ministers were appointed solely by the president.
Yeah.
And our House of Representative members and senators were elected by you and I. Were elected by you and I. And for the fact that the food scarcity is biting on everyone in the country today, does not mean we should just throw the whole blame on the president. It is the system. The system that he came to meet is not something that one will just overnight think the president can fix the problem just within 8 months. It's not possible. Now we came to meet insecurity, and this insecurity have driven all our farmers from Katsina to Bauchi to Kaduna, have driven all our farmers out of the farm.
Mr. Richard, sorry to cut in there. If you keep telling us not to blame the president, who do we hold responsible? Because he knew it was going to be a tough job and he asked for it. He even said it himself that he asked for this, so he's not complaining. So if we don't blame him, who should we blame? Because normally, whenever there is a problem, even in an organization, the first person that you would have to talk to will be the head of that organization. The head of that organization has to roll for whatever must have happened if there's a mishap, because at the end of the day, if Nigeria is supposed to be giving credit, who would be mentioned? The president, first of all.
Yes.
So if there is a problem, it means we still have to drag the president.
That is why I said any Nigerians who come out to blame the president or to throw all the blames on him, you are right, because he's the president today. And for the fact that he is the president today, he appointed the minister for agriculture. He appointed the minister for water resources in terms of irrigation. If it is the irrigation farming that we are lacking, Ministry of Water Resources can come in. Agricultural minister is there too to solve most of these problems. But the issue I am talking about is issue of policy somersault. Now we have beautiful policies. The president have to come out boldly boldly giving marching order to all his ministers. Among all the ministers he has appointed, I can say the FCT minister seems to be the only one out for the job. If you move from here now to, let's say, Kubwa, you will see the minister, he's not always in the office, going to supervising projects going on. But the rest of the ministers, what are they doing? Majority of the ministers today, they are silent. The president shouldn't just be watching them and folding his hands. He should put them to work. If you are not ready to work,
you see, you're also stylishly blaming the president here.
Yes,
exactly, because you know he said that if you do not work, you will be removed. So why hasn't he done something already?
What I am saying is that the president can be blamed because he's the president today.
Blamed, not just
he can be blamed because he's the president today. And for the fact that he's the president today, he appointed all the ministers. Anyone that is not doing well should be sacked.
Exactly.
Immediately, like what has happened to Better Do. Look at, they said 25,000 naira cash transfer. What would that do when we have our farmers who don't even have farm implements?
Do you know that even some civil servants have not been getting the supposed 35,000 naira wage allowance that was supposed to have been paid to them? We had a couple of them calling on the program.
That might not be the issue, the problem of the president as well. They are still talking, like yesterday, the chief of staff to the president, he was in a meeting with NLC.
But do you know that, sorry to still cut in there, part of the things that would always be said about the president is that he is a micromanager. When you look at his antecedent. So why is this one so hard for him to micromanage all of the parastatals? Why is it so hard that he's not getting the adequate report to know that if I spoke and I gave an executive order that this should happen, it is not happening? Nigerians are not feeling the impact. Yeah. Why is it not knowing? Is it that whenever they get into Aso Rock, they're always aloof of every other situation?
The major issue there basically from like what we are facing currently, to me, I would take it that everything started from when he removed the subsidy. The removal of the subsidy, the removal of the subsidy, all of us, we applauded it. But there was no plan on ground, as in, because you should know that after removing the subsidy, there should be consequences. And these consequences, there were no plans on ground on how to tackle these consequences. Now we are in it now. Subsidy has been removed. Fuel now is about 1,000 naira. I bought the other day, yesterday, for 684 naira in one filling station, almost 700 naira. And this fuel that has gone up, majority of our farmers, they cannot even afford to even transport their farm produce to where you and I can have access to it. And if you transport yourself now from Abuja here to Benue State to get yam, like one of our colleagues told me the other day that she went to Benue State to buy yam, and
the cost of transportation is higher than the yam that
and the availability of the food products is not there. Now fuel is so high. Nigerian youth, they don't have job. Majority of them don't have job. Like in one family, about 10 to 11 persons,
and those that have job
will be relying on one single person that is a worker. And like now, January salary, even my wife have not received. January salary, even my wife have not received. The chain of dependence in Nigeria is so high, and every day, in fact, it's a terrible problem that. If anybody is blaming the president, I will not blame such persons. But it shouldn't come from PDP.
Yeah. All right, let's quickly
PDP is not they are not the right persons.
But they are Nigerians.
They are Nigerians. But
let's quickly take this call. Hello,
they created the problem before APC came on board.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Please join the conversation, Mr. Omar. I believe you called back.
Collins.
Oh, sorry. Mr. Collins, please join the conversation.
Thank you. Please, I want to let the analysts know one thing.
All right.
Both the former administration, both this present administration, they have all gone wrong.
Okay.
Well, let me tell you something. He was complaining about insecurity and the high of food prices of a thing. Now, I want to ask him a question. This, what do they call it?
Please, you have just 60 seconds, sir.
I forgot it. This fuel, this thing that Tinubu dropped.
Subsidy removal.
Subsidy removal. Who exactly are they paying this money to? Where is the money going? Who is responsible for this money? What are they doing with it? Now, in terms of the high price of fuel, of food, okay, a liter of gas in my place now is 1,450 naira. A liter. And there are certain villages that you go and come back with load, it will not take you less than 30 to 50 liters going and coming. How much load are you going to charge? If you want to charge for you to have a profit, how much are the people that has that load going to sell it? Look, I happen to believe in Dino Melaye and the 8th Senate of 18 also. He said Nigeria is sitting on a time bomb which will explode and everybody will be involved.
All right. Thank you very much.
Now, let me tell you one thing now.
Please, we need you to round up your thoughts.
Okay. 2015. I know you just give a break. I lost my dad 2015. He was 32 years. He has just 3 years to retire. And as I'm talking to you now, not even a benefit has been paid. Nobody cares. Nobody knows how the children are feeding. Nobody wants to know how. Look at the vehicle they brought for all the National Assembly that day, on which the entire nation is hungry.
All right. Okay.
Look.
Thank you very much for your thoughts.
Something must definitely happen.
Yes, something got to give. Thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. Richard, please let me ask, what's the way forward? Because recently the son of Tinubu had come and saying that for all this to happen, for all this to work, we have to be patient as a nation. We have to endure. But just as the caller said, it's just as though it's the masses that are meant to endure and the elites get to enjoy the benefits. Well, Labour are mobilizing for a protest. But then, is that the way forward? Is that the way we should go at this time? People are hungry. People are tired. People are frustrated.
I align myself with what the caller said. Like the subsidy that was removed. Till now, the presidency, they have not come up to tell Nigerians what they have realized from this subsidy that was removed.
But there are
and this money that they are getting as profit now after removing the subsidy, where is this money?
Well, they said that they've
made more allocations to states and all of that. Before, they used to share money in billions. Now they are sharing in trillions. So citizens should also ask their state governors how their funds are going. It's all on budget. You can check what the allocation has been.
So that is just what I said. The issue is about political will. Our leader is not just President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now you talk about the governors.
Of course.
Now they were sharing federation allocation in billions.
It's not coming in trillions.
Now it goes to the governors in trillions. Even the local government. Okay, now this money that is going to states and local government, federal government have about 15% of it. Just 15% additional. Okay, now what are we? You have your state, I have my state, you have your state. What are we asking? Which question do we normally ask our governors? What are they doing with this money? So when I said the problem is not just about the president, it's about our leaders. House of Representative Speaker, Senate President, all the elected officials, they are part of the problems. Like the other day, National Assembly came out boldly, even when Nigerians are suffering, to give vote of confidence to the president. Is that normal? It's not normal. Okay, that is pure eye service. When Nigerians are dying of hunger, that is pure eye service. So what I am saying is that once we have political will, especially on the side of our leaders, the other day I heard National Assembly, the House of Representative member coming up to say Nigeria should leave democracy, the American style of democracy, to the British style, which is parliamentary. Okay, is it parliamentary or democracy, parliamentary system or democratic system that we are talking about? What we are talking about is we should reform ourselves, our mindset. Like India, what they are practicing, the style of democracy that they practice is parliamentary, is the British style. Okay, that they are practicing the British style of democracy, which is parliamentary. You cannot just because Indians are surviving in parliamentary, that they are surviving parliamentary, now Nigeria now should adopt parliamentary. You have to talk about the human factor. How is your mind? If the Indian leaders, stakeholders in India, what they look at is national interest. Nigerian leaders, do they look at national interest? But they look at selfish interest. Look at all the policies they are coming out with. It's about their self. One of the callers talk about a vehicle that they bought in the National Assembly. That vehicle, if you refuse to, if you say you don't need the vehicle, like in the House of Reps, if you say you don't need the vehicle, you'll be giving 165 million for one vehicle. If you need a vehicle, they give it to you. But if you don't need it, they give you 165 million naira. When Nigerians are dying,
either ways you get something.
See, if you put all that money together, let's say 165 million naira times 360 House of Rep members. Do you know how much it is? The number of House of Rep members from your state, if you put the money 165 million naira together and feed the entire state, nobody will cry of hunger. Or call farmers together and buy a farm implement to them. Nobody will talk about hunger. Like the subsidy that was removed, whatever they are getting from the subsidy remover, if they can share it, not just giving it to governors, because the ones that have been given to governors, nobody is seeing it at the state level. We should go down to the local farmers. If you can go to the local farmer, the president can do something about it.
Right.
You talk about the solution. The solution is, now they have policies. The president have policies. Past administration, they have been having policies, but they don't have monitoring team. I will advise this president to set up presidential monitoring team that will be monitoring all the ministries.
All right.
If there is a monitoring team, if president come up with a policy that will go directly to farmers to increase food production in this country, these monitors, monitoring team, they will go down, they will ensure that this money, if it is farm implement, get down to the local farmers. But if you release it to governors release to local government chairmen, they will divert it to their personal pocket, and we will still face the same problem. So all I am talking about is political will. We don't have citizens that put the nation's interest first above their personal interest, and that is why we are in this problem. Even if you bring another person to be president after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we will still be where we are until we have people who are willing to reform themselves. What we need is national civic reformation.
All right. Thank you very much. That's a beautiful submission. But now let's move on to other stories. In fact, something really also bothering. You know, on Sunday morning at about 5 a.m. there was an attack in one of the communities in Kaduna State. But that's definitely not the only places where we've had insecurity challenges in recent times, and I'm sure you can attest to that. And very recently, there's been a lot of voice around state policing, community policing. Not that it has never been there over the years, but it sounds like something that is almost becoming realistic. But now that there's this former lawmaker that has a different opinion of this Shehu Sani, he says that it's a mirage and it's a recipe for some sort of destruction, according to him. And he's saying that governors are going to use it to their advantage. They're going to use it for rigging of elections. They're also going to be using it to harass non-indigenous political opposition. So he believes that it's actually a recipe for anarchy, and very soon it will become something that they would be using to fight against the federal power. Now, what's your take on that, as against so many promises of how advantageous it will be if we have state and community policing?
I line myself totally with Senator Shehu Sani.
Okay.
If you look at what has happened in Ebonyi State government set up a kind of community police, a kind of state police. They call it a Bubagu.
Yes.
In the southeast. And if you come to Benue State, we have the same thing like that. They call it a volunteer guard, community volunteer guard of a team.
We have one in the southeast.
Some other states
yes,
of the federation, they have similar things. what kind of result have we had from them? Negative. Like in the southeast, that of Bonny State, the problem, the series of problems from state high court to federal high court, even down to Supreme Court, on how federal government should ban Ebubagu. And today Ebubagu was banned by the court. The same thing happening in Benue State. And most of these state policing that they have, I can say in Ebonyi, they have tested it. In Benue State, they have tested it. The result is negative. In Benue, like what was happening, there was no arrangement for their salary. No, the state government wasn't paying them. Even if they should establish state policy today now, how much would they be paid? Most of these people that they will recruit into this state policing, they are already courtists. There is no part of this country today, no village that you could that court fraternity, this confraternity something, have not taken over. And if you recruit them into this state policing, now you arm them and you are not paying them. What they will use it to do is to be using it, the gun that you are giving to them, to harass innocent Nigerians. Like in Benue State, most of the junctions where they normally stand to say they are checking vehicles, checking motorcycles, they are only extorting people because they are not paid. They call it community volunteer guard. The state said you have volunteered yourself for this service, so no salary for you. They will definitely devise means on how to pay themselves. The same thing applicable to other states of the federation. Just like he said, if state policing should be allowed, where we will find ourselves in the next 10-15 years, Nigeria will be worse than which country in Africa that is has been engulfed with insecurity. Nigeria will be worse than any country at all that has faced insecurity ever. What they should do is to reform the already existing federal police. We have graduates who are reformed from the universities. They don't have job. If they can put it as a law that before you join this category of service in the Nigerian police, you must be a graduate, BSc holder or HND holder. Fine and good. And once you give such people's training, quality training, SSS can come in, other generals that have retired from the Nigerian army, they can bring them to train them. You see, within 2 weeks, we will have a strong police force in this country. And they can equally go to the DSSS angle and recruit these young Nigerians that have graduated from the university and they don't have job doing now. Majority of them, they are ready to serve the country. Too many of them, they are in their rooms just looking for what to do, to eat. They don't want to get themselves involved in any criminal activities on the street. But they don't have the job. And if you bring this kind of people into this system, they will seriously serve the country. All of you have served as NYSC. You have served the country from through NYSC. You know your item, the NYSC's item.
Under the rain.
Under the rain, in the sun. You understand? You are called to serve the country. That is in their blood already. Their civic responsibility is in the mind of anyone that have worn this NYSC's uniform before. So they are everywhere in the country without job. Majority of them are the ones leaving the country. So why going to state police? State police, just like Usani said, the state governors, they will use it. Even after you use and go, another governor comes, he will still use it. Presently, even the federal police that is within the state, from the commissioner of police to area commander to zonal commander, all of them, they are in the hands of the governors. And they use it against innocent citizens. So if you put state police in their hand again, they will be empowering them. And they will become laws. They will become laws at the state level. And nobody can breathe. That's to say, that one alone can even destroy democracy in this country. Because majority of Nigerians will not even have the free mind to go out on the day of election to cast their vote freely. You can't exercise your right freely on the day of election in this country if state police should be in place. It's wrong. It's not a good policy. It's not a good policy.
Thank you very much, Richard Oriri. We really appreciate it for your time today. I really wish we even had time to talk about the little boy in Niger State.
I have the story here with me, but there's no time.
Our time is already fast spent. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it for your time. All right, viewers, that's all the cuttings on today's show. We really appreciate you, and we're sorry we couldn't take some calls. We are really, really sorry. We hope you call in again tomorrow. I am Olamide Alhassan, and I'll see you again later.
Well, I am Victoria, as Olamide said. See you again later. Bye.